I got my blue pots. I got some more items. Where the hell did Malak put the... Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, listeners. I apologize. Don't worry. What? Uncle Marabi was just putting some stuff away. Hey, anyways, let's listen to Metolius tell us what happened last time.
Welcome back, loyal fans. Devoted servant of Maliki here to tell you what happened last time on the Sword Cast Adventures. After the party left the Elven Crypt behind and decided not to return to Cassandra, we traveled west into the forest. Eventually the wood gives way to a marshy swampland, and soon after we encounter an older human man being chased by frogmen astride giant crocodiles. The battle is fierce, but after putting these beasts down, we speak to this old man. He offered us beds, food, and drink in reward for our good deed. However, Loud Scout's keen insight signaled danger. What could this mean for our party?
Thank Metolius for the recap. Now, you all find yourself out upon the road with this harmed, cut, bruised old man. The blood starting to dry as his wounds seem to have begun to close, or at least to coagulate.
Well, is he still bloody after being prestidigitation?
Did someone prestidigitate?
I did prestidigitation.
His clothes are no longer bloody.
Because he noticed the thing.
Well, we're getting to that.
Yeah.
You prestidigitation. You notice that the cuts are pretty surface-wise on the clothing, but there seems to be a deeper cut underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're coagulating already, and he stands there in front of this menagerie of an adventuring party and goes, "Thank you so much."
Oh, because I enhanced him.
Yes, you did. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought that was my end. I couldn't find the kids, and then those terrible creatures came running after me. Please follow me back. I can offer you a warm bed, or at least food. There's just a town up the road. If you need any provisions, obviously they have it. It's better than sleeping out here.
Loud Scout walks forward and kind of like just crosses his arms and sticks his hands in the sleeves of his robes. And he says, why you want us to go to town so bad?
I wanted to offer you the best I can do for my thanks. For saving my life. You are all very integral in doing that.
Why you running from those things? What you do?
They seem to just be barbaric. They are more so just animalistic. They wanted to, eat me? I don't know what frog creatures do. Do you know?
I know I don't believe you.
What's happening?
I mean, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you. If I did,
I look at Grimtuck and Loud Scout says, I don't trust, and he points at him.
I'd like to insight check the old man.
Sure.
Insight is going to be a 15.
Okay.
And Grimtuck is going to walk to stand directly behind the old man.
Okay.
He doesn't know what's going on. He just trusts his homies.
Eldwin, you see sweat begin to bead at his brow.
Okay.
As you look at him closely, and you notice that his eyes start to dart around, and especially as he kind of walks back from the accusatory advance.
He walks back, he's walking right back into me.
Was getting As he walks back from the accusatory advance of Loud Scout, he kind of bumps into you and goes, I don't know why you don't believe. Those creatures were after me.
Grimtuck is just going to lay one hand on his shoulder.
Very much. You seem to be laying it on a little thicker than he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
So she read from that.
Grimtuck is going to lay one hand on his shoulder, and while he doesn't know what's going on, I'm going to make an intimidation roll, if I can, and just say, "Talk!" loudly. Ooh. Grimtuck would have hit to 23.
He kind of spins around, like a bit of kind of swamp water splashes up upon you and just goes, I own an orphanage, my children are missing, and now my saviors are my attackers? I don't understand what's going on.
Where were your children last?
They were out doing chores around the grounds. Sadly, one side of my orphanage is flush with the swamp itself. They could have wandered off.
Was there any damage to the fence? I assume you have one of those.
No, I have no fence. We're a stone structure, a simple place. I do this under my own...
How many children?
Right now, 6, including the ones missing. 4 that still reside.
And how long have they been missing?
I mean, by now, just a few hours.
Any tracks? What do you know?
It's a swamp, and I don't really know how to track. I just followed where I thought they would have gone.
I'm gonna I'm gonna sort of like walk away from him and sort of like pull Metolius sort of aside and do a little like half huddle thing facing the other direction and sort of talk quietly to him and say, what sort of read are you getting on this fellow? He seems to be acting strangely, like he's well acting or something.
Grimtuck leans forward just to put this guy on edge and just sniffs him. And just looks him up and down.
He kind of jumps. What are you doing?
And just no response.
He backs away from you.
Metolius will insight check the latter half of this gentleman's story about the orphanage and his children and whatnot. I rolled a 1. So,
You're watching this happen, Metolius. You see Grimtuck be very stern and very much forceful towards him, and Eldwin then berating him. The man seems to be missing his children and does own an orphanage.
God.
To you, you're confused as fuck. You just saved a man, and they're just berating him with interrogation.
Well played, Dungeon Master.
Thank you.
Alright. Metolius just looks at Eldwin and says, his story seems to check out to me, but if you have concerns, we have gotten this far together, so I must at least consider them.
Is this a private conversation between the two of you, or
We're huddled.
You're behind.
Yeah.
You're next to.
We're talking in Elvish.
Cool. That's fine.
Yeah, we're talking in Elvish, exactly.
That's fine.
Eldwin will reply with, I trust your godly intuition, though, so we should give this individual the benefit of the doubt. He does not seem to pose any danger to us at the moment.
But we should be wary.
Yes. As always. Eldwin's going to turn around and just say, well, group, let's say we cease hostilities and we'll head back to this man's orphanage and see what we find there.
I have something to say. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to
Go right ahead.
If I know one thing, it's that friend Loud Scout says next to nothing. I don't know if I've ever heard him say a hostile word towards anybody, but this man, for some reason, puts him on edge. I would like to hear what Loud Scout has to say.
I don't trust. He not tell truth. I can tell.
Interjecting into Loud Scout, commenting, and goes, we are taking this time. The children are getting away. What if those creatures have them? I'm going to the
What you do to them? And Loud Scout pulls his wand of web out of his sleeve and points it at him.
I'm going to the mayor. I will be leaving now, little thing.
He looks at Grimtuck like, get out of the way.
Grimtuck steps back.
And I cast web on him.
Dexterity saving throw, if I'm not mistaken. DC 15?
It is 15.
Let me just see.
Casting a web.
The first stranger we meet.
I cast a spell on you.
So it is save DC 15. Yeah, web spell.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you earlier.
Oh no, you're fine.
Dexterity.
He's never gonna take us to his stone hut now.
For reals.
We'll never get to go to the orphanage.
I was. That sounds really weird. Like you were planning on it prior. What is going on here?
Your level of excitement is disturbing.
We just found out why Grimtuck came to the island.
Yeah.
Seeing you pull out the web. How many charges did you cast it at, by the way?
Just one.
Just one? Okay. Seeing you pull out the wand and just thinking you're going to do something terrible to him, not knowing what is going on. Let me just make sure that if I succeed and fail to save the creature... Basically, the webs fly out from your wand, just like right out at him, and it kind of spreads. And you see his fear flushes over his face. He jumps out of the way and just like splashes and slides into the muck. Not very gracefully by any means, but enough where he was able to dodge the web. Just sticks onto a tree and kind of sinks down, and after a little bit just disappears.
I walk and stand over him and I point the wand at him again.
Was I only saved to be killed again? What are you all doing?
Metolius walks over and he starts patting down this gentleman.
Okay.
Is that investigation, I assume?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Loud Scout still just stands over the top of him, pointing his wand at him.
He is definitely going to try to get away from you as you are like rifling through his pockets. How would you like to stop him?
I cast command and I say halt.
That's one way to do it.
He has to make a wisdom saving throw against my DC.
Which is? He doesn't.
Damn, we are just going ham on this guy.
It's a 15.
He doesn't.
Yeah, Grimtuck is thoroughly confused.
The creature does move and takes no actions.
He just stops. He's effectively petrified without being petrified.
Yeah.
So yeah, the old man, as he tries to wriggle away, like walking backwards on his hands through this muck, stops and sits perfectly still as your hands reach out and start patting his pockets.
As Metolius is searching him, can I roll an Arcana check on him?
Sure.
And as all this happens, Grimtuck's going to walk over to Rain and go, "What is happening right now?"
24.
I'm not entirely sure.
24.
But I also find it weird
11.
that the second we rescued this guy, he stopped looking for this kid he was looking for. So
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
I'm not exactly totally trusting of him either.
I didn't. Oh,
All of a sudden, that wasn't urgent anymore.
that's a really good point.
We were accosting him.
He wanted to just go home.
Okay. So,
That is a good point.
Loudska, you don't find anything magical on his person. He doesn't seem to have any form of magic cue at all.
Okay.
Pretty mundane. Metolius, you find a total of 4 gold, 3 silver, and a copper, as well as a wrought iron key on him.
1 second. I just got to double check to make sure that as a paladin I can't steal this guy's money.
Okay.
Pretty sure we shouldn't rob the guy.
I'm pretty sure
You
also...
all know what I'm doing?
He will.
Dude, I can see you commanded him to stop, patted him down, pulled stuff out of his pockets, and pretty much can tell what's going on over here. I have super good eyesight. I can see you
I
robbing
don't take
him.
the money, but I pull the key out. And
It's old, worn. It's been in use for quite a while.
I say, what's this do?
Can he respond?
He can by now, probably.
How long does command work last?
It's 1 round.
Oh yeah, so he absolutely can by now. It goes, that's the key to the front door of my orphanage. It locks the door. What is wrong with all of you people? Who are you?
Insight check. Hey, there we go.
On what? Are you insight checking me?
Is it really the key to the front door of his orphanage?
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 17.
He seems to be telling the truth. It actually is the key to the front door of his orphanage. At least in his mind it is.
Okay.
At this point,
I don't even know what that means.
Sorry, go ahead.
I eye him suspiciously, but I leave the key and I leave the money and I stand up and I say, I don't know if this man is guilty of anything, but he certainly doesn't seem to be entirely innocent either.
I'm going to say to the old man, understand, we are people who, let us just say, have enemies and find it difficult to trust strangers who show up under precarious situations. We are good men by the fact that we risked our lives to save you and we don't know you, but understand, none of this is personal.
Excellent. So you could have let me die, but you chose not to. So thank you. But then accosting me now, so...
We've done you no harm. Quiet. Quit your blathering. You're alive. You have all your possessions. Those creatures are dead. I spent time in one of their mouths. Probably the same mouths that ate your children. Mind your tongue and understand our difficult situation.
I would like you to roll an intimidation check for that statement, as cool as that was.
Natural 20.
The universe knew.
He just stops. He just kind of like shrinks down and with thinning eyes just kind of huffs.
Better not be making eye contact with me when he does it. Look at the floor.
Well, he's looking at you because he's scared.
Okay. Alright. I trust friend Loud Scout's hunch on this. We have nothing to go off of to either hold this man or accost him further.
So I can go? If you're not going to help me, bring me back, or allow me to offer you a reward, then I would like to go. I have children missing, and I think the man might help me. More so than you 5.
Grimtuck shrugs.
Yeah, so does
I take my wand off of him and I just look at him and I say, I still don't trust.
I
And I turn around and walk away.
obviously don't either.
Well, we'll be showing up to town with a reputation. Well,
Why don't you be on your way, old man, and we will see you maybe later.
we're traveling the same direction.
He scurries back on his palms again and kind of just like pulls himself up, brushes as much of the refuse off of him, though still soaked from about like chest down. He just kind of looks at you all once more again and just scoffs and stomps off into the onto the road and towards westward, towards the direction he was pointing towards.
Eldwin's going to walk over to Loud Scout and say, all right, what did you discern?
He seemed like he not tell truth.
I hear that, but we are in a foreign land with few allies. Perhaps we should have a more lenient introduction to locals.
That might have been my fault.
For what it's worth, I believe you, Loud Scout.
As do I.
I don't see what his crime is yet. And we had no way to prove it. Justice would not have been done. If we truly do not trust this man, then we should find out what he has done, and then maybe justice will be served. And I think that's what the gods would want.
I understand. He seemed mean. He seemed, I don't know word. Not good person.
That's fair.
Not everyone in the world is good, unfortunately.
I'm glad for one that we're not following him back to whatever place he has set up for us. I do think whatever the gods do want, I want a strong drink, and I want to dress these wounds. So I think maybe we should get ourselves moving towards town. Or
Yes,
find a
drink!
place to camp.
And Loud Scout pulls out a bottle of brandy.
Like the Swiss Army knife of booze.
Yes, I could do a strong drink and maybe a hot bath. Travel has been long and hard, but we should not stay with that man. That is for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, back on the horses.
Okay. Are you just going westward then?
I would like to investigate the bodies
Of the... Okay.
of the deceased creatures.
Sure.
If anyone wants to assist,
I'll go take a look.
Loud Scout will definitely want to take a look after
Matolia
what's
says,
just happened.
perhaps the old man took something from these creatures, and that is why they were chasing him. And maybe if we search them, we can get some kind of clue.
The only item he had would be that key, and honestly, whatever he's hiding, I trust Rain to be able to pop the lock and find out what's behind it.
Doable.
Perhaps he was more skilled
Loud
at
Scout,
hiding.
help.
Perhaps he was more skilled at hiding things than my search could discern. That is
Well,
also
then more than your search was willing to discern. It's all a matter of being thorough. We could have just opened him up.
That is true. But I definitely think that murder is not the course of action at this time.
Oh, fair enough.
So, investigate the bodies.
Sure.
Just understand how
I
often
think,
Grimtuck solves
Loud
all
Scout
his
will
problems with
assist.
murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think you're having at least one person assist you.
Hey, there we go. A 19, I believe.
19.
19.
Okay, so what you find on them, I would say almost like rucksack-esque clothing. Very simple, very low quality, with almost a kind of leather wrap for a belt. They carry these just roughshod spears. You do find that they do have what seems to be like small trinkets, almost like fangs or teeth, as like jewelry.
Right.
Most likely from maybe their crocodilian friends.
Okay.
Wait, jewelry?
It's
Yeah.
all tribal. It's all teeth.
Tribal jewelry?
I'm taking one for sure.
Okay. I had one
Crocodile
necklace.
tooth necklace?
Crocodile tooth necklace.
That's neat.
It's basically on just a basic leather cord. They're about...
Well, I mean, I wear a lot of gold and bling, but it might be something a little bit more down home.
Sure.
So, something a little more
5
relaxed.
teeth, a leather cord.
Crocodile. Are they the giant crocodiles or normal crocodiles?
pretty
'Cause those-
big.
Okay, cool.
Pretty big.
Is there any religious iconography of any sorts?
You don't find any on these ones
Okay.
in any way. They don't seem to have much on them.
I would then like to cut open the bellies of the giant crocodiles with my sword.
Okay.
Good idea. We'll
Roll,
look for children.
So roll for
Again, your excitement is very bizarre.
I just think it's a good idea.
roll for children.
Roll for children.
That's fucking
I would
brilliant.
like to roll for the human condition. I say to Grimtuck, perhaps you would like to help me. I would like to open these large beasts up and see what they have been eating recently.
Sure.
I've been skinning animals and hunting since I could walk. I'll go and just pull out a hand axe, just grab the one that Metolius doesn't grab,
Okay.
and then just groin to collarbone or whatever.
So
or groin
both of
to-
you roll survival checks, effectively.
I am halfway decent at this.
22
Not
for
when I
Grimtuck.
roll a 6. A 10.
Hey, I mean, that's
You
That's-
know.
survivable.
Yeah, it's survivable.
So yeah, you both take your time. You flip these gigantic beasts over onto the back. They still float. There's enough gases in them to do so. And you use that moment to just, open them up. You're able to clean and just skin this crocodile easily, if you so chose, but you just make it to the stomach and cut it open. Totally just takes you a little bit of time to find where the stomach is. You pop a few things that
Aren't.
leak some bile you don't want to talk about.
Grimtuck will be like, you can actually eat these things. Does anybody want some?
No, thank you.
No,
You
thank
sure?
you.
Alrighty, buddy. Alright, fine. I mean,
Um,
I'm sure. Never mind.
What you do find is inside their stomachs there are definitely a good few bits of animal bones, some meat of some kind. They're
Stomach acid.
absolutely. It only will burn in a little bit. What you do find is there is what seems to be a... And Grimtalk, I think you find this one in your crocodile. There is a humanoid bit of skeleton, hand, but it doesn't seem small enough to be a child.
Okay.
Does that have flesh on it?
Yeah, well, in order to tell it's a hand, it probably still has to be like flesh.
Yeah, I
to
guess.
hold
It's
the
not
bones.
just broken. There's a few tendons left and a few pieces of flesh.
Grimtuck will pull it out.
Just,
What do you make of this?
He pulls it out. It just flops over.
I found a hand. I don't believe it to be a child hand.
It seems to be severed at about like halfway up.
Are there any jewelry, a ring, a tattoo, anything on it?
Roll an investigation check. See if you.
Is it clean or does it look bitten off?
It looks bitten off.
Okay.
16 for investigation, which is really high for Grimtuck. Normally, I'm terrible at that. Apparently, when I eviscerate something, I'm fucking on point.
That's the general rule for barbarians.
Yeah, his senses are honed.
So what you do find is this actually does have what seems to be, interestingly, a small tattoo right on the wrist, right? And it's kind of broken and cut, so you're not able to see it super well. But if you look at it close enough, and from places you've seen as you've traveled the Sword Coast, it almost looks like the symbol for the Harpers. It's a group of just general adventurers, and
Are they like mercenaries? Or are they a guild?
they're more like a
They're
guild.
like dedicated to the greater good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they like
But they run up
thwart
and down
schemes by evil.
Okay.
the Sword Coast and
Oh.
Faerun area.
Is Rain in eyesight to see that? Probably not, because he's
I
like
think
up close
he's
and
looking
like
at it
he's
now.
looking at it. Okay, never mind.
No. But
Ankle deep in an alligator.
Yeah, right. I don't know if anybody else would want to get in on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I'm definitely staying like
I
relatively
don't-
far away from the.
I never
guts,
wear a
so.
shirt and I'm already covered in blood. So I don't think anybody wants to be super close to me anyways.
Yeah, Loud
But-
Scout's already soaked, so he's like watching from a distance.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a look at it and turn around. Just light, low hand, or underhand, toss it to Metolius and say, "What do you make of that tattoo?"
I look at it.
Do you catch it?
Oh, I'm going to catch it. I assume.
Looks like one of the Harpers to me.
The Harpers, you say? What would a Harper be doing all the way out here?
I imagine the same thing we are. We're adventurers. We heeded the call to come here for whatever our hearts desired. It's not unbelievable that perhaps others did as well. We can't be the first group of people to come out here seeking a fortune.
Metolius turns to the rest of the party and yells, "Does anyone have anything to do with the Harpers here?"
Alduin shakes his head no.
Rain
Loud
says
Scout like
nothing.
puts up his hands. Like, I don't even know what that is.
Someone doesn't want to be insight checked. Huh. I mean,
Okay.
I've had dealings with them in the past before. I mean, I have
As have
quite
I.
a lengthy career of piracy. You tend to run into the occasional do-gooder.
They have been known to have various goals and ambitions within the High Forest. I have encountered them before.
Sometimes they're dumb enough to get on a ship, and then they're mine. But I would have no enmity with them. They're just like any other guards or mercenaries. Enmity's the right word, right? Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
enmity.
Yeah. The
Um,
pronunciation's always weird.
Metolius kind of shrugs and says, "We should remember this, but I don't know what significance it poses right now."
No, I find nothing. I say, we're already going to have an interesting welcome wagon when we get into the town that we learned about. I figure no better time than the present. Let's move on.
We leave the crocodile corpses, and
Okay.
I kind of want to take the hand, but I have no justification for why Metolius would want to. And it should just like more explaining that we don't need. So
Yeah, we already got some splaining to do.
maybe. Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
So, Elduin, that trick where you made that guy look less crappy.
Yes, prestidigitation.
Maybe you could help me out. I'm up to my
Oh!
arms and
Oh, yes, of
alligator
course.
blood and gore.
Alduin will clean off the bits of blood.
Okay.
I'm still
Do you
heavily
mind?
wounded. Yeah.
As I am like mud and blood splattered.
Loud Scout's gonna like run up to him with his like arms held out.
What's my cleaner? Fine. With a couple more flicks of his wrist, he'll do a light clean on his fellow party members.
I have this idea. Being prestidigitation using a lot, I want to at some point write a one shot where you go to the demi-plane of where everything that prestidigitation takes off goes.
Oh,
Awesome.
And it's just
gross.
yeah, it's disgusting. It has to be.
It's an other dimensional trash bin.
Oh man.
Full of everything.
Just blood and mud and
Now alligator
water,
guts.
probably,
And just dirt. And lots of dirt.
and raw sewage.
Yeah, I was gonna say
probably.
probably some fecal matter in there.
Yep.
Stomach acid of various monsters.
It's the worst demi-plane.
So is it safe to I was assuming, because I don't know too much about prestidigitation, I assumed that for whatever reason the stuff just kind of sloughed off you, but it just disappears?
That's where I imagined it. It just says
that's
you
what-
you can clean the thing.
Okay, so it doesn't specify.
It
Okay.
doesn't specify.
Gotcha.
No, it says
It
you
is
can.
removed.
You can also dirty something.
Yes.
Like it can go.
So
it
you
goes
pull
both
from
directions.
the prestidigitation plane?
Yeah.
So you get to pick what you do.
I don't know what it is. Here's
Oh, no, this is slowly
Does
but surely
this smell
becoming
like
canon.
alligator guts to you?
Oh, no.
It smells like dead
It's
alligator.
purely hypothetical. No,
Yes.
no
I
one
still
has
like
been
it.
to the plane
Oh.
of prestidigitation.
No, I
so.
still think it's a great idea.
Moving on.
Okay.
So you have all been cleaned.
We go down the road.
Yes.
Find this shady guy and where he lives.
So, as you leave the forest opening, you travel about 2 miles down the road. Do you stay on the road or do you stay in the forest?
Road.
road.
Road. Let's just walk in.
At about
Aren't we riding?
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah,
are
right.
riding.
Yeah, so we
We
have
have
We're
horses.
riding in.
At about 2 miles or so down the road, maybe closer to 3, depending on how you take to the roads, you break
A mile out, I get off Varys.
Okay.
And I tell him to go into the woods and to be vigilant and be prepared, and then I ride in with someone else on the horn.
Okay. You break the main tree line, and you find the forest kind of take a sharp right and envelop this almost pseudo valley in front of, now rising high above you, this mountain that sits snowtop peak, sitting right like at the cloud line, the top almost not visible because of it, and it towers over you all in front of you westward.
I say to whoever I'm riding with, I guess, Elwyn.
Probably. Elf bros.
I say to him, this appears to be the mountain that rises from the swamp, as the unicorn spoke.
That is quite literally what it is. Yes.
Perhaps we'll learn of this Titan creature.
Yes. Eldwin's going to launch off Teak for Owl Watch. What does Teak see?
So, in the surrounding, in front of you, you notice farmlands kind of spreading out a good few acres ahead. Maybe probably about 5 or even 10 acres. You see different plots of land almost seemingly split up among a few different families. This seems to be a very agricultural area. But as Teak rises, he sees that just past all these farms, there seems to be a pretty well-lived-in town. You'd not be able to tell how many people, but there are definitely over 50 different buildings throughout. So it's pretty decently sized.
Okay.
There seems to be some form of a taller edifice, almost like a church,
Okay.
set right in the center.
Is there any sort of stronghold?
There doesn't seem to be
anything?
a keep. More like there's a slight rise to what it seems to be a mansion.
Okay.
Maybe something where a mayor or magistrate would live instead of like someone of militaristic power.
Gotcha.
There does seem to be windmills kind of peppered on each of the farmlands, as well as he gets closer, he sees watchtowers. About 4 at precise spots that kind of take a good solid breadth around, and they're able to kind of get the whole view as each one faces a different direction.
Gotcha. And what season are we in?
Right now,
Yeah.
I would say late spring.
Late spring.
Enough to be balmy in the
Yeah.
jungle area, but I guess jungles are balmy year round, so.
Yeah.
It's more like humid, not balmy.
Okay.
So it's just the fact that there is water around that makes it uncomfortable.
Okay.
But
Well,
you
a cold jungle that's not balmy is a wetland. So there.
So you see farmers in the fields tending to their crops that are growing. They're not fully developed yet, but they're working on it.
Yeah.
You see livestock here and there spread throughout. There's also this very interesting kind of tower, almost like a stone tower. It looks more like it's converted into something more like a home now, but maybe once have been something more.
And that's where in relation to the village?
So that's at the topmost point of the village, near to the edge of the forest line.
That's not something we can see yet. This is a team
It's
thing.
not something you can see.
We're
Something-
still okay.
This
You're
is
also
just
even you who have pretty damn far distance. It's still a little bit weighted. It's more than a mile out for you.
Cool. I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled
Sure.
for whatever I can. And when of course, once we get around the break of the trees.
At this point, around this moment, I would say the sun begins to set. So what you all do see as you start to move forward through this farmland towards this town that Teak is looking at is you start to see pinpricks of light start to glow as lanterns are lit throughout the town.
Pretty.
Yeah. Fireflies,
Yeah. Dreamy.
bats.
Eldwin will relay this information to the party.
Yeah.
Let's find the inn and secure ourselves some lodging.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think that's our first order of business.
I don't say anything to the party about it, but as we're heading into the town, Rain is watching out to see if she sees any more Harper iconography,
Okay.
like
Sure.
on anyone or banners or on
Absolutely.
anyone's armor or anything like that.
Got it. So, as
Loud
you...
Scout wants to keep an eye out for that guy or the orphanage, just to like make notes.
Sure. So as you're moving through, farmers as you pass seem to be packing it in for the day. The light is slowly leaving, and it's not very good to do anything past that. So as the town becomes alive with people milling about, the outer lands become quieter. But you do now notice that there is a pretty decent population that moves throughout this little town. You even notice as you're walking closer, there seems to be a lantern that goes on in each of the 4 towers, as though there is some form of a town guard that keeps an eye as the night falls.
A militia.
Possibly. But yeah, you walk forward deeper in, and as you are now past this farmland, you now see this town laid out in front of you. Shops of different kinds, definitely a bunch of residential homes. You closer now to the town itself, probably about only a few, like maybe half a mile out from getting to the very first doorway, you see that towering structure. It's probably about 2.5 stories tall. So it does tower over most of these basic residential areas, enough where you can see it. And it does sit at the, again, closest point to the forest, which is on your, effectively pointing northwise and on your right.
Are there
So northeast.
distinguishing markers on this tower that might give a clue to who or what lives there?
There seems to be a bit of lamplight or firelight in the windows, but in most of them, as though it is pretty well
Okay.
lived in.
And how tall? How much taller is it than everything else?
About like half a story tall.
Oh, it's not like towering.
It's not literally like 50 feet high. It's more like 35 feet above these normal buildings, which are probably like 15 feet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is it about as tall as the mansion? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much thinner, but about as tall.
Okay.
And the mansion you can now see as you kind of get closer to, and it's on the far west side of this hole, as well as the what seemed to be in Teak size, maybe, or at least in your version of Teak size, in your figuring out what he saw, maybe a church of some kind, or place of worship. That also seems to be relatively large. That it's pretty much the 3 largest buildings in town.
Okay.
Hi everyone, the Swordcast is back again with their second and final set of humanity rolls for Min-Max Mankind. We will once again be rolling a die of our choosing and adding our proficiency to it, tallying up our rolls and donating the total of both sessions to the amazing charity Outside In. They do some great work in Portland and we are happy to help as best we can. So, here are the rolls.
It's time.
Make it rain.
Alright.
Yeah.
This is Rains. I'll do a d12 again. And... Oh, dumb. Do we want to re-roll one?
Use your luck.
Yeah, down reroll
Yeah,
once.
lucky.
Yep.
Oh, man!
Well, at least I got that out of my system. Jesus.
Meant to be.
Well, $4.
Alright.
Alright, let's Grimtuck here. See if I can make up for Rain's lack of rolling skills.
The lack of rain.
Yeah, we'll take a 15. Okay.
Metolius here. Gonna roll that d12 I never get to roll. Nice. Another 15. My roll from last time.
Boom.
He's consistent.
Alright, Loud Scout's second roll. Gonna go with the d20 again. For a 15, and my modifier is a 3, so 18.
Boom. And here comes the pointy-eared elf again. For 17.
And once again on the DM with a +8.
Cool.
Oh no!
Oh no, out of the box.
Out of the box, reroll. That's a 16.
Woo! Think of the children.
What do we get? And altogether for our second round, we got 85.
Take that, homeless kids.
Literally.
Overall, we will be donating a total of $186 from both sessions that we recorded this month. Thank you again, Lawful Stupid, for giving us a chance to be part of this amazing collective good that you have started. And also, we offer one final challenge as well to the podcast, The Spellcast D&D, to join in and roll for humanity with us. But yeah, you walk through and you see just pretty much a menagerie of people. Elves, humans, a few of the smaller folk, possibly halflings, a couple gnomes probably here and there. A decent mix. All of them seem pretty... Actually, roll a perception check. Anyone who's paying enough attention to the people walking around.
I certainly am.
Absolutely are.
Grimtuck gets to 20.
10.
Oh.
10 for Rain.
22 for Elduin.
7 for Metolius.
So,
Oh, wait.
6 for Loud Scout.
So Elduin and Elduin alone sees.
Wait.
hey,
Oh, yeah, that's
Elder.
right.
Scotty.
That's right.
My magic shield actually, I believe. Oh yes, advantage on sight-based perception rolls.
Word.
Natural 20.
Oh shit. Well, the three of you, not including Loud Scout or Rain, who is too involved in looking for the iconography she is, as well as Loud Scout, who is too involved looking for the old man to pay enough attention to the other people.
That's fair.
Thank you for calling those two things out, guys. You jinxed the dice.
Yep.
The three of you notice that
University.
most everyone you see seems pretty much peasant folk. A few higher class, maybe merchants, but like none of them seem like adventuring stock, like yourselves, covered in jewels or well-made armor or even good weapons. Like you see normal people in front of you.
Yeah.
Of all different races, but normal.
Elduin's going to, when a local walks by, is going to say, excuse me, you there? Can you tell us where we are?
The young man, he actually seems to be a half-elf, kind of ruddy-skinned, dark hair, kind of looks at you and goes, sir, this is Greyhurst. Did you...
Ah, good. No, just checking. We're not locals.
Oh, interesting, okay. Yes, welcome to our little humble abode.
Thank you. And Elduin will sort of bow deeper than he should.
He kind of sheepishly nods in that way. Well, welcome to the town, all of you. And as he does, he kind of the person who is with him, the woman, more just like kind of, we gotta go. They're waiting for us. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
No.
Could you tell us where the tavern is?
Oh.
That'll be all.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Actually, if you go right down, and he kind of points westward, which is this long kind of column of buildings right in the dead center that kind of cuts the town in half. And you see a bunch of signs waving in the breeze. And he goes, oh, yes, if you go to the Howling Stag, it's just right down the street. You'll note it by the symbol on the sign.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Not a problem.
Have a good evening.
You all as well.
And we...
You hear them kind of chitter back and forth and just go, visitors, remember they're visitors.
Yeah, about that. As we leave them, I turn to Eldwin and I say, I don't think we should tell people that we aren't from around here. I mean, I know it's obvious, but by our appearance, but I think that we should try to have a lower profile.
This is reasonable. We come in peace, so I figured it would not be an issue, but...
We don't know these people's allegiances, and we are on the run from a person that I assumed was of some import in this land, so...
That is true, though I would imagine as long as we do not bring up that we are on the run from them, they wouldn't know.
But you heard them. They said strangers rarely have visitors, so I think that we will be fairly memorable, and I think that it would behoove us to keep a low profile.
Point taken.
Yeah, I doubt Cassandra's looking for us yet, but once she starts looking for us, like, we're probably going to stick out like a sore thumb.
This would be an easy place to start.
Yeah.
Are there like, have we seen any like guards with symbols on them that look like they might have belonged to Cassandra's?
Roll a perception check.
That's a good call.
Yeah. Can we all do that?
That's another 22.
Hey.
That one.
That's a fucking 6 again.
Nat 20 that time.
Grimtuck 13.
Loud Scout got a fucking 6.
This die is so weird. I got a natural 20 again.
Oh, fucking hell, dude.
My shield.
That shield.
The eye sees all.
Is there an eye on your shield? I really hope there is.
There is an eye on my shield. Yep.
Fantastic.
It's in the character art.
Once we get next round of character art, I'm definitely doing action poses and that. You'll see that shit.
So, you have seen Town Guard. They don't seem to be anything referencing Cassandra that you saw, or maybe her brother, which you were told about. Instead, all the guards seem to have on their tabards emblazoned a rose.
Interesting.
Gonna write that down.
But yeah, they seem to be walking around. There seem to be a couple guards here and there. Just nothing abnormal. Just your everyday standard town guard.
Is there anything that looks like an orphanage?
I question how many orphanages you've seen, but outside of the residential or like actual businesses you've seen, you could guess that maybe it just is another building.
Especially if it only has 6 kids. That could
That's
just be a house.
small. Yeah, that's not like a big dormitory type setup.
Grimtuck is going to quit all the looking around and go to just beeline for the inn.
Okay.
Yeah, as we make for the tavern, Loud Scout's going to polish off that bottle of brandy that he started sharing with everybody.
Word. So, on this way, this kind of merchant row that you pass by, there are a few things that kind of catch your eye as you do. Again, it's more in the sign. These people have a flair for it.
They're natural advertisers.
Oh yeah. They fucking love it.
Yeah.
So, in the first one you pass seems to be this interesting signpost. It's named the Wet Raven Tradesport. And it seems to be a downtrodden blackbird, dripping with just little drawn-on droplets of water.
Huh.
You get to the next, and it's this almost geode-like design, where it's a rock and cut in to this like beautiful crystalline structure, and it goes the Blue Quarry Apothecary. You continuing down, you see a few just houses, seemingly families at home. But the next one you come on to is it shows a almost like a mannequin that you would craft clothing on, with a large smile and a shining suit of armor. It says the Jolly Mantle. The final one you see as you're passing down just this row seems to look like a ink quill fallen over, and the ink spreading out into the words of the name, the Forsaken Pen.
Eldwin's gonna go there.
At the very end, there seems to be it kind of ending off and landing in a dead end. Pretty rowdy right now. There's definitely sound, song, and drinking happening, and the sign on it swings back and forth in the wind, and it's this stag on its back hind legs, and you see its mouth wide open and its eyes wild as the howling stag sits in front of you.
We
Head there.
Yep.
enter.
Is there a stable boy or a stable anywhere nearby?
Oh, good
Oh,
call.
yeah.
There are definitely places to tie up a mount to the side. You could ask when you're inside if they happen to have like a form of stable.
Okay, I just don't see one obviously there. Okay.
No, but
Oh, no
also
problem.
this is a very like kind of closed in
Yeah, makes
area.
sense.
So,
We tie up the horses and
Yeah.
we enter the tavern.
and it is just as that. It's pretty rowdy, but in just a kind of very jovial way. People enjoying themselves, having drinks and mead, and company as you're going. And there seems to be a few kind of bar persons walking around serving the alcohol and the food. There seems to be a haggard-looking half-elf woman
Yeah, my man
sitting
Metolius.
behind
You know you like bar wenches.
the bar serving drinks. A shock of gray.
Not with descriptors like haggard. Definitely not.
Shocks of gray run through her once glowing red hair. And you can kind of tell that she kind of has that salty feeling to her as she just gives a very hard jaw to one guy who's asking for another drink and goes, "You had enough, son." And he goes, "I haven't had..." "You've had enough, son. Out." He goes, "You can't tell..." And she just pushes his head, and in his drunken stature, he just falls back and kind of lies on the ground and passes out.
Ah!
Are there
Loud Scout laughs out loud.
Are there any other like more like adventuring types in here that
You don't... Most of them seem like farmhands, or... You do notice a very kind of, I hate to, almost aristocratic elf in the corner, drinking with a very small glass and reading a book. You notice smaller, maybe a halfling woman kind of sitting there, but no one looks of your ilk.
so we stick out like a sore thumb? Gotcha.
I don't wear shirts. And I wear a lot of bling, so I'm gonna stick out. I'm like 6'5". I'm gonna stick out. Hard.
I'm purple.
We're a memorable crew.
It's true.
Don't get me wrong. But I thought
You
we
also
might have a
notice
chance of blending in.
one of the people serving... So there's two that kind of stick out to you out of the servants here. I guess three, but you're not as not unused to a half-orc, as there seems to be a half-orc serving here. Half-orc female.
Mm-hmm.
A gnome kind of runs around with a tray on her head, serving drinks as she goes, pretty deftly.
Wait, so they have a bookish elf. They have
the elf is a tenant. No.
I'm just saying they have a bookish elf. They have a gruff half elf. They have a jovial, small, running around gnome. And they have a half-orc. These are our loser selves. These are like if we decided to just settle down in a small town.
This is a Black Mirror. Don't you worry. We haven't gotten there yet. You also see another features of what seemed to be an elf, but the shock white hair and the almost ebony black skin. But, like everyone else, he serves just like the rest, handing out drinks, sitting on a person's lap, having a good time. Then, the last of the kind of servants come out of the back with a huge tray of what seems to be mutton. And his long, almost ivory wings that sit behind him, his feathered appearance, and his interestingly beaked face. Which, have any of you ever seen an aircrook in your travels?
You would have to tell me on that one.
Yeah, totally.
Because Grimtuck was also, aside from traveling a lot for his tribe, he was a pirate, and so he traveled all over
I
the
would say
oceans.
the people who I'd expect to have seen them more would be these two. You from your studies, you from your travels.
I'm gonna roll
That is
nature
Elduin and
check or a nature
Grimtuck.
check?
There are Aarakocra that live in the Starmount Mountains in the high forest.
Then y'all, you three.
Yeah, I'd say if Rain had ever seen one, it would be like more like on trade routes, like
Sure.
like the trade
I'd
docks
say
in
you
Neverwinter. But other than that,
You
probably
three can roll a nature check on this person.
8 to Grimtuck.
You don't remember what those birdmen are called. You've seen them.
See him.
not. Seen him.
9 for Elduin.
There are a lot of bird-based creatures you know of.
Yep.
Ones that walk, talk, and serve food. That's an interesting little thing.
Modified 20.
You've definitely heard of these creatures, and you're surprised to see one. You didn't know they were such
I am.
such far-traveling individuals.
I didn't think they took to bar room work either. So hey, you learn something new every day.
Hey,
Alright, well, let's find ourselves a table.
sure.
Yeah, Metolius will approach the bar.
Yeah, Loud Scout was gonna climb up on a stool and like stand there and wait for.
Yeah.
What is your charisma, please?
Amazing, clearly.
Thank you.
Party paladin over
It
here.
is 18.
So you pretty?
I mean, I'm attractive, yeah, I'd like to think.
Cool. So you two sit up at the bar. Or is anyone else or? Are
Yeah,
you?
Yeah,
we're all
Elduin-
going to the
yeah.
bar.
I'm not
I think.
sit. I
Ellen-
wasn't
That's fine.
sitting.
What? Loud Scott's sitting because he's tiny.
Here's what I'll do. Metolius says to the party, "Go find a table. First round's on me, and I'll inquire about rooms."
Sounds good.
Sounds
that
good to
sounds
me.
legitimate.
Okay.
As we're heading to the table, Rain has her eye out to see if there's any gambling happening in this establishment.
Roll a perception check.
Elduin's gonna eye this elf in the corner.
Sure.
14.
You see a couple dice games going on.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but you know, a couple bits of coin are being thrown.
Let's ingratiate
Again,
ourselves first and then steal
It's not a huge. Being the patronage, like you don't expect them to have a ton of money, but there is coin going around.
Okay. I mean, I just like gambling.
Yeah. So Metolius walks up to the bar as the others find a table.
I
The
approach the half-elf woman.
she's wearing a good, like a nice party dress, one that like seems to have lasted her for a
Serving
couple of years.
smock of
Certainly.
sorts.
Oh,
Oh,
apron in front.
got it, right.
These guys are
Um,
tired. That's what this
And
is.
she
Yeah.
kind of like, she has her hair tied up messily in a bun, and you see her sleeves rolled up tight as she has about 6 mugs in one hand and goes to the farmhands right next to you and places it down and goes, "That'll be 2 silver, boys." And the farmhand puts it down. And
For each one?
no,
Altogether it's 2 silver?
yeah.
Cost of living is so low in these rural areas. It's very nice.
And she kind of like, "I'll be right with you." And she gets the silver, gives all that. The farmhands walk off, and she goes, okay. And she kind of takes a second and goes, primps herself a little bit. How can I help you, son? I haven't seen you around these parts before.
That's true, because I've not been around these parts for quite some time. I would like to inquire about a round of drinks for me and my friends. Actually, do you have whiskey?
I mean, I got some... Yeah, I think I got whiskey still. We're running a little low, but we definitely have the house ale, and we got a nice spirit.
I'd like a round of ales and a bottle of whiskey with glasses.
Big spender walking into my bar and just ordering a bottle. Not a problem.
Well, I like to give to the local communities I pass through. I'd also like to inquire about...
She kind of looks at you and goes, do you now?
Yeah. It's about to get real milfy.
See, that's the thing. Natolius is so not interested in this woman, but...
She might teach you a few things.
They just want it that much more then.
Just kick the tires. I bet you did.
Gosh. Degrading.
Listen, sir. I'll kick the tires of whomever I choose, and whom I choose. I will not bow to your whims.
Probably for the best.
I would like to purchase some rooms. I don't know how many you have and how many people they hold in each.
Let's see.
I need 5 beds.
5 beds. Sharing rooms or getting separates?
Shared. Or...
I mean, okay. We got about 2 beds a room. I don't think I'm gonna...
2 rooms then.
Okay.
That's
so you
the
only need 4.
Can we move a bed into a 3rd room? Or you have a room with 3 beds?
I'll see what I can do.
Alright, how much will that run me?
Let's see.
Drinks included. Also, mutton for 5.
So, let's see. I'd say... I have 5 silver per room. So there's 5 of you. Make it 6, because I'm going to move a bed from another.
Done. And how much for the food and drink?
For the drink, I got you at for you, son, I'll give you 5 gold for the bottle. And, 4 silver for the mug, for the drinks. Yeah.
And the food?
And the food we got, let's see. You said there's 5 of you. Enough for all that? I got you at about 15 gold. Or 15 silver, sorry.
So 15 plus
4.
4 plus 5 silver for the rooms?
Yeah.
Or 6 rooms.
That's for the first round. I'm
I
guessing.
give her 3 gold. And say, keep the change.
Wait.
That's enough. Oh, you said the bottle was 5 gold.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
I give...
she looks at you and goes,
D&D
no, it's
the
not.
math problem.
Sorry. I apologize. I give her 6 gold and 5 silver. That should cover it.
Yeah.
6 gold, 5 silver.
Okay.
Slide it across the table like it's nothing, and I say, "We're sitting over there," and I point and I leave. I get room keys, and then I leave.
As she goes, Morn, come get this man his drinks. And the half-orc kind of waltzes over. You see the lady put out just a tray and start filling the ales. Puts a bottle, some glasses.
Alright. I join my compatriots at the table. I put 2 keys on the table, and I say, I have secured food, drink, and lodging for us.
Many thanks, friend Metolius.
Greatly appreciated.
Indeed, thank you.
A few moments later, the half-orc saunters over with a tray. She one-handedly takes the mugs, puts it down, takes the bottle, lays it out in front of you, and she goes, will there be anything else?
Let's keep these mugs full. Toss her another gold.
I can do that.
Somebody got a pencil?
Loud Scout's all excited, and once his ale set in front of him, he just
Right here.
drains like half of it.
She kind of like reaches over to you too, and gives you a little rub on the cheek and goes, "If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know."
This lady's awesome. I'll just shoot her a wink.
And the half orc kind of giggles and saunters away.
Oh, I thought that was the half elf.
No.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Still down.
No way. I don't believe you. So Metolius will lean in and says, pours everyone whiskey in each glass and holds it up. And stops Loud Scout from drinking it immediately.
Beat me to it.
Yeah.
And he says, "This is a toast." And
He kind of looks at him like, what's...
Just pantomime with us.
yes,
Just hold it up.
do as we do. This is what
He
friends
like awkwardly
do.
like holds his glass out.
And then we all cheers and
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
Metolius says, "I am a stranger in a strange land, but at least I can call you for my friends."
Here, here.
Here, here.
Clink.
And we all clink, and then we drink.
And we
Really
drink.
And he drinks it and just kind of looks at everybody like, okay.
It is a show of celebration.
For the sake of hanging out and kicking it, would this at some point constitute a short rest? Because even before I sleep, for 8 hours, Grimtuck, not knowing what's going to happen, likes to utilize that whole periaptive wound closure to use some hit dice and get health.
Yes.
Okay.
This would, sitting here having drinks, this would count as a short rest at least.
Can I roll on that? That's help
Sure.
there? Okay, so I'll get him back after 8 hours, but who knows? Shit pops off at taverns.
Yeah.
So
Sure, man.
You never know when you'll be in a bar fight.
Tika's gonna sort of climb down off Elduin's shoulder and kind of rest on the edge of the table, and Elduin's gonna sit there and like play with him. You know, squidge his beak a little bit.
Oh.
It's really cute.
Just beak.
Loud Scout like almost immediately reaches out and like fills his glass back up with whiskey.
Yes, Metolius also pours himself another glass.
And
About
Rain as well.
15 minutes later, give or take, heaping piles of mutton and just root vegetables come out on plates steaming, and the half-orc once again places it down and just bids you all enjoy your meal and let me know. My name is Morn, if you need anything else.
many thanks, Morn. And
Thank you.
we're just gonna get faded.
Loud Scout just
Faded
digs
on
into the food.
Did you guys want to do anything else while you're eating?
Drinking.
We'll probably have, aside from eating and drinking. You know, we haven't had much time to really even speak towards any of this, but we found ourselves in a weird, interesting predicament. Swept up into a situation we don't quite understand in an island that we hacked upon trying to find treasure. We've found, well, something of sorts that I won't discuss in mixed company. Perhaps we should discuss what our next plans are, or even, hell, if we'd like, discuss what brought us here. I know that I know relatively nothing about most of you, aside from sharing battle and victories and killing many, many, many beasts.
While he's talking, Loud Scout's gonna kind of like look around to see if anybody's like listening
Yeah.
Perception
or
check.
paying like extra attention to
Sure.
us.
Probably a good idea. Grimtuck wouldn't
The
know because he's
whole
talking.
the whole tavern because we're out of towners.
14.
14. You catch glances, but it's nothing as though one person was like, staring at you, like taking notes. It's more so that exact thing. It's
Okay.
You look out of place, even in this kind of menagerie.
Perhaps we should discuss these plans in our room after we have partaken of this food and drink.
Fair enough. Grimtuck doesn't know much about social graces, or it's not much in a subterfuge. I trust your judgment.
It is for the best.
Loud Scout's just paranoid as shit, so
Grimchuck doesn't give a fuck. He's just like,
I want as much time as we can get without being harassed by those who would come after us.
fair.
I want to discover more about the society or group of elves of the crypt that we found.
We don't need to speak of current events. I meant more towards past events.
Ah, well, that is true. We could definitely discuss that.
Well, why don't you start, Grimtalk? Where is it that you come from? And
I hail from the Shatterchain tribe. We are a tribes people out in the plains. I am the son of the chief of the tribe, Grimvar. He is a mighty, mighty chief, but men in my tribe, especially in his position, tend to die young. He's lived longer than most. I'm here on a mission from the gods in order to fulfill a quest, so I can claim my rightful place as chief, upon his passing, of course. I would never dream of trying to wrest the title from him. I'd end up with an axe in my face. But yes, I was sent here by the gods or a gods. I don't know much of the gods. I am just smart enough to know to listen to them when they send me off to find my destiny.
Indeed. And is the adventure your destiny, then?
No, I seek a bride.
Oh, well. What?
I was visited by a god of sorts on a vision quest, and he came to me and told me that I could not return to my tribe, see my people, or go back to my land until I did so with a woman by my side. But not just any woman, a woman strong enough to best even me in combat. I was to win her heart, claim her as my bride in any way that you can claim a woman that strong, and ideally come back and rule as husband and wife. Normally, this is outside of the customs of my people. We usually marry from within the other tribes or neighboring tribes, and so you can imagine I've had to search far and wide. I have yet to meet this woman, but gods know that I'm having a great time looking and hanging out with company such as yourself.
Yes, indeed.
And on the way, I somehow became a pirate captain, which is a whole other story all into itself.
Yes, as one just happens to accidentally become a pirate captain.
It happens that way when you smash the captain's head in with a cannonball.
No, this makes more sense, yes.
That's what he gets for trying to take slaves.
At this point, the kind of ebon-skinned, elf-looking person kind of walks over and walks to you all and goes, "Refreshers, does anyone need any pick-me-ups?" He kind of looks you up and down, right? And goes, "I love your horns, my dear."
Why, thank you. I like your hair.
Thank you.
Smooth.
Loud Scout asks him in Undercommon if they have venom.
He kind of cocks an eyebrow for a moment, and looks at you and goes, "In Undercommon, I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure if we've had that kind of spirit in this place for a long time."
Since
We can't take you anywhere.
But he seems intrigued. He hasn't heard his tongue spoken to him in a very long time. And he goes, "If not, I could bring you something close. How about that?"
In Undercommon, he says, "Yes, please," and pulls out his flasks and asks, "Can you fill this too?"
"I think I could do that for you, little one."
And he thanks him.
Sorry, this individual we're talking to is what race?
Well, roll a nature check.
Okay.
Pure blood.
I have no freaking idea. I have no freaking idea.
I will say, you know very well what a drow looks like.
Nah, okay, yeah, cool.
So this whole town, so far from what we've seen, is very multiracial.
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't weird that there's a very ethnically diverse group running this bar. Ethnically as diverse as we are.
Loud Scout thinks it's super weird that this drow is just walking around.
Alright. Well, Grimtuck doesn't notice anything because he's not super bright. So, Friend Elduin, I've told my tale. What brings you out to these interesting lands? He's just going to ignore the bartender. He doesn't give a shit.
As the server kind of leaves, he runs a finger across Elduin's shoulder and walks off to get...
Oh.
Elduin's head is just gonna snap around and eye him as he walks away.
Alluring?
Yes.
Nice.
In a kind of 1, 2, 3, and away.
Elduin is going to have a flat affect, but will look for a long time at this individual who is walking away.
You see his hips swing slightly from one side to the other.
And he sort of does the Elduin is sort of looking at this, amused, and sort of does the long turn back to Grimtuck and says, as we were saying, well, you know that I am the emissary of Evermeet, no?
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
Not an idea.
Well, the elves of Evermeet, the Eladrin, as they call themselves, they are a reclusive bunch and don't regularly interact with the rest of Toro. So they send an emissary every 500 years or so to discover what is happening in the world outside.
Grimtuck's eyes widen because half-orcs only live to be 70. So.
It is an honorable position. My task is to travel to various lands and to gather information for my home island.
That's amazing. Once this is all said and done, you must come back with me to the Shatterchain tribe and I'll teach you the ways of the people.
Do I have to get a bride there?
No.
Oh, good.
No, it's... I'm... Grimtuck's kind of at a loss for it. Shakes it. No, not at all.
Oh, great. Yes, then I would love to come visit your tribe. Yes, I'm sure you have many interesting things I would love to
We're not much
experience.
in the way of books. We more tell our history through song and story.
Oh, delightful. Yes, I can record those too.
We didn't sidetrack wherever we were going.
No.
Grimtuck's super interested. Sorry?
I was going to say at this point, the drow returns with a full flask, and in Undercommon says, "It may not be venom, little water, but it's from my personal collection."
His eyes are go super wide, and he's like, "What is it?"
Let's just say it's something from home. And he kind of gives you a wink.
Loud Scout gets super excited and is like, "Oh, thank you very much."
This is a very friendly drow.
This is a very friendly bar.
That's true.
And he
Almost
puts away his
suspiciously so.
Well, friend Metolius, you've heard our tales. What brings you out to this strange place?
My god told me to come here.
A god told me to come too.
Yes. That maybe...
Samesies.
Grimtuck gets super excited.
Please tell me you guys high-fived.
No.
I think Grimtuck's a little more fanboy than Metolius is.
Jump up in the air. Jump up in the air, high five with legs kicked out.
As I alluded to before, I fought a creature such as the one that we fought in that crypt. The one made of smoke and necrotic essence. It was a long, hard battle, but in the end, I acquired this shield, as he pats it wherever it may be near his person, and I gained a message from my god, and he told me to come across the sea and to discover something. He didn't really say.
The gods are vague.
The gods are vague.
They told me to just go to the ocean. Not very
If I recall,
Not much guidance.
Are there many half-orcs in the ocean?
Not many. No.
Seems a strange place to find a
He
combative
didn't
bride.
mean like in the middle of the ocean. He just said it that way. If it wasn't, stuff just, it was a glowing elk. I don't know what gender it was. It was talking in my mind. Sorry, anyways.
Well, it has become clear to me that what my guide sent me here was to find more about this organization that we found.
That's fair. I'm glad that one of us has guidance here because I kind of feel like I'm just standing around in the dark.
I'm sure
Literally.
your true destiny will come into shape in time,
Agreed.
and you will see clearly, as I have, what the gods will of you.
Here, cheers.
And we cheers, and then Metolius says, I can tell you how I came into the service of the god of the forest and her consort, Gwayron Windstrom.
Was that the unicorn that we met in the place?
No. That is just a unicorn. I have not met that unicorn before, but I have met some.
Oh.
They are great beasts, and to be treated with great reverence. But when I was young, I was a guide. And, well, I should say my father was a guide. And he was teaching me the ways of being a forest guide. When we were set upon by two vicious trolls who ended my father's life.
Sorry to hear it.
Yes, it was a sad day.
Have you swore vengeance?
It is very difficult to tell trolls apart. I have killed many a troll in my time. I do not suffer them to live. Let us just say that. But at the last moment, a unicorn appeared and swept me away and saved me from those trolls and took me to a tranquil glade where the forest goddess herself dried my tears and comforted me, and we struck a bargain. And I am conduit of her will. She grants me power, and I exact her whims. And that is why I'm here.
Interesting.
Fair. To be on a mission from the gods, a quest actually bestowed upon you by a god directly. That's divine. That's honorable.
I do not know what the true goal of the quest is yet, but I'm sure it will be revealed in time.
Sounds very enigmatic.
As Grimtuck said, the gods frequently are.
At this point, you see the kind of fancy-looking elf in the corner close his book, finish his drink, leaving a few pieces of copper on the table. He walks out of the tavern. You see the drow kind of give him a little blow him a kiss as he leaves.
Alright.
This drow's, this is his hunting ground.
He works here.
That's what I'm saying. Good for him.
Self-guess around.
Alright, Loud Scout, you're up. Slams his tankard down. What brings a deep gnome to it? Well, the middle of nowhere, an island, barely known, difficult to find.
Loud Scout doesn't really stop stuffing his face, but in between him taking bites, he says, "I don't know."
That's completely fair.
What do you mean? You just upped and left one day?
I have nothing, so I go to look for something. And he keeps stuffing his face.
Well, now you have allies and friends. That much you've found.
So you have found something.
He stops eating for a minute and thinks about it, and yeah, I guess. And raises his glass awkwardly to
Oh, we have another.
We
toast.
return.
We all toast.
Another toast.
Alright, and finally, Rain. The quiet one. If if you're done brooding,
Quiet,
you
the
can tell us
quiet
what
rain.
brought you to this island.
Well, I'm from the Sword Coast. I'm from Neverwinter. I pretty much spent my life just doing odd jobs for money, and towards the end there, I was betrayed by some people I thought I could trust, and well, didn't really have much else besides that, so I decided to get on a boat and leave.
Who betrayed you?
Some people I worked with.
Well, when this is all
Why?
said and done, perhaps we could all return back and kill
I
them.
wish I knew. Well, I don't know if it'll be that simple, but I appreciate the sentiment, Grimtuck.
Well-
And you're sure you didn't have anything to do with the Harpers?
Who are these Harpers you speak of?
Neverwinter.
I mean,
Neverwinter is a large city.
it is. I mean, I've heard of the Harpers, but I've never done business with them.
Apparently they've had some bad run-ins with alligators. And he takes another drink.
I'm so inside checking you.
Rolls a 3.
I mean, seems like Rain's never had any run-ins with the Harpers.
Alright. Well, Grimtuck's done reminiscing. We just wanted... Because really, it's like, he's a curious guy and he loves everybody. So he's like...
Yeah, Elduin. No, who are these Harpers that you speak of? I have not yet been to Neverwinter.
They operate all over the Sword Coast and into the continent of Chult.
They fashion themselves as adventurers, but really mercenaries.
Oh, I see.
And not necessarily for war, but more similar to how we are, not necessarily for hire, but we'll kill something for money.
They have been known to thwart great schemes by evil entities and persons.
I see.
They are generally dedicated to goodly goals. We share a similar skill set to them, to many of their ranks.
Indeed. So, adventurers and swords for hire.
Yeah, they're just a little more organized than us.
I see.
And larger, quite large. It's a large network.
I see. Thank you very much. Elduin's going to pull out his book and sort of make a few notes.
At this point, you see the gnome patron, not the gnome server, stand up on her stool at her table and call to the bartender. Another round, please. I just ran out. And you see her kind of lull slightly as she does, and the bartender goes, "You got it, dear. I'll send someone right over."
Well, on that note, friends, next round comes around, I think I might go find myself a bit of a dice game. Thought I heard the clack of the bones calling my name, and I figure since we're here, might as well.
I might join you if you don't mind, Grimtuck.
Well, I wasn't trying to keep this coin anyways.
Okay, so yeah, roll a perception check. Crazy kid.
What's the approximately? What time is it now? How much time have we killed?
In the course of you all telling your stories, I'd say you've been here for an hour and a half, maybe 2.
Okay.
Sorry for the clip show, listeners. It's just Grimtuck.
That's great. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
this is
Grimtuck generally wanted to know. So that would be perception for Grimtuck would be 17.
Yeah, you find a person over in the corner, seemingly a group of 3, look like farmers or stable hands.
Oh, they're gonna be terrified of me. I'll just clink my bag of coins and say, I hear the familiar sound of dice over here, and I'm wondering if there's room for one more in your game.
Oh, before you leave, Atolius says, remember, low profile.
Grimtuck just kind of laughs. I'll do my best as he stands up 6'5".
Atolius understands.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you and Rain walk over to the table, we're gonna call it for now and see you guys in the next episode of the Swordcast Adventures.
Woo! 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 Personal history episode.
Hey guys, Chris here. As per usual, you can always find us and check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Libsyn, and Podbean. You should follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Swordcast. Check out our website at www.swordcastadventures.com. You can check out our Tumblr blog at www.tumblr.com/blog/theswordcastadventures. Or, as I always say, hopefully we'll be doing more on it. Check us out on twitch.tv/swordcastadventures. The end of the month is here, so the next episode will be out on the 4th of June. This has been a wonderful month and super fun, not only with some really awesome recordings, but being able to join in with Min-Max Mankind and Lawful Stupid and all the other podcasts that joined in as well. Has been just a blast. So yeah, as per usual, guys, we love you very much. You'll hear from us soon.